initial view is that as altcoin season kicks in over the some part of this year until the summer, they're going to come for XRP and they're going to come for Doge. And we're going to sit there and go, what the fuck just happened? Because we believe that a bunch of new entrants will suddenly discover through 17 clicks on CoinMarketCap some random AI coin that we own because our mate got us into it. It ain't never going to fucking happen. 0.0 chance. That's what haunts me, is that almost everything is going to underperform some very basic things. The reality is, whatever you think about XRP, there is more video content on YouTube than any other thing in the world in crypto outside of Bitcoin. So if you're a new person, you go crypto, XRP. Alexander Good talks about this. There's so much content around XRP and Cardano that it's in every AI model. It's the training data.
Yeah.
And then the only other one, if you want to get to something that it's easier to understand, it's Doge. And you might get the derivative of WIF and stuff, but nobody's this far down the rabbit hole apart from us lot.
So I think the CoinMarketCap thing is an interesting take. You could argue, though, that this person who's looking to interface with crypto for the first time and has never touched it has used AI before. So there's almost this like pre-existing touch
Have you
point.
actually asked people outside of, look, crypto Twitter is actually a very intelligent, really smart crowd, generally speaking. Go and speak to the ordinary guy when you're walking around LA and say, how much do you use ChatGPT? I've shown every single one of my friends how I talk to it using the advanced voice chat as a mentor and a guide. They're like, what? I'm like, let me show you how I can use the video and it can describe the scene and tell me where I am. I was in northern Zambia on the northern Luangwa River in the super remote. There was not a single person for 100 miles. I took a photo, put it into ChatGPT because we had a Starlink with us, said, where am I? It goes, you're either the northern Zambezi or North Luangwa in Zambia. I'm like, this is fucking insane.
What I will say is there isn't a kid in the world under 24 years old that has not used GPT before because of school. And that is that is true.
I'm going to say the best, if we could just tokenize character AI, I would be all in. Character AI is the TikTok of the new kids. It is the thing that every parent will say that's the most toxic thing on earth. That you have a friend that's called the bully at school who is good at sports, right? And that's a character called whatever, some anime character, 450 million conversations. It dwarfs everything else. Character AI is the greatest application layer of the entire thing so far.
If you squint your eyes a little bit, you think about what ELIZA is in the i16Z, it's kind of like, okay, if you squint your eyes, it's kind of open source character AI. What is it? It's all these open source devs making different characters. Because that's in the tech itself. Basically what people are customizing, if you're making a really low effort version of a ELIZA fork, you're just customizing one page. It's called a character sheet. And that's what gives the agent all its personality. And what they've done is just made it really easy to hook that into Discord and Twitter and Telegram. So it's like it's a template almost to get it to be on all the different platforms that people are on. But coming back to your point on crypto, Raoul, like about will people buy these coins? Okay. My take is a little bit different on how people are going to onboard this cycle. I think last cycle people heard about DeFi and NFTs as these ways that people were making retarded amounts of money really, really fast. And I think this cycle, almost all of that is happening right now on Solana. So we're both on the same page, like the base for that reason. Coming on to Solana and they're buying coins using Phantom, using Moonshot, then maybe using BullX and Photon. If you look up YouTube videos of where are people like buying a lot of these spot coins, yes, I agree, XRP, Cardano, they have a wealth of content. But that long tail of people that want to get rich fast, they're going to onboard on Solana and they're going to be buying coins. And the thing with memes is, and this is maybe more of a trench view, but the meme stuff is like, I remember when TikTok, the chill guy run. You remember this? It's like, after that, people thought the TikTok meta would happen and they would come and buy everyone's existing like meme coin bags. But the kids just started making their own pump funds.
That's what I think is going to happen to this.
Yes.
This is what I think exactly is going to happen to the
but I think
AI.
it's harder to do with AI stuff. It's way harder to get the bids.
They won't buy it. They won't buy it. And we'll be stuck there going, they're going to buy A16Z. Surely they can see it. And we're going to be sitting there with a bunch of tokens not going up, and XRP is going to go up 10x. And we're going to go, we mid-curved it. That is my exact point about this is why I think we're going to mid-curve it. The other thing I want to go back is about ELYZA versus, what they've got is kind of off-the-rack AI chatbots. Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
What Terminal of Truth is doing and the infinite backrooms is a whole fucking different level.
Yes.
Right? These things are almost, and Andy and I have talked about this, they're probably somewhat sentient. Right? This is, and you can see all of these automated chatbots, they're terrible. Now, of course, the world is going to go to non-terrible chatbots, without question.
Yeah.
And is it going to be on ELYZA?
Like AI XBT, I think it's pretty good. Like AI XBT is probably the biggest KOL in the entire industry at this point. It just got to 380,000.
It's pretty crap.
No, I disagree.
But it does have the most mind share.
If I ask you the question, if I hit the two of you up and say, hey, what do you think about this? I get a better answer. I'm sorry, but it's not any good.
I was skeptical at first, but I've watched. It's like, so they have two things that AI XBT, by the way, relative strength wise, it's like the strongest. It is the best agent. Like, I think it's kind of hard. I haven't seen a good argument for anyone saying there's a better one.
It's the first agent as well, right? So it has value for being.
No, it's not.
But the first kind of known one that broke out.
It is the first. I think it is one of the first breakout ones because every normal person that joins the space, who are the first people they follow it? And that's why I love you, Raoul, because, when I'm getting into crypto, I'm seeing your face. I'm seeing like the big talking heads, and because you're looking for alpha, I'm looking for things to buy. That's when people onboard into crypto, they usually follow like people that are tweeting about coins, about investing philosophy. This is the stuff they're following. And so AI XBT at this point, every new person is coming into space. I think they're just getting recommended this thing. The account growth is nuts. And they have two ways to interface with it. One is obviously the Twitter. You tag it and it gives you thoughts on a coin. And sometimes coins move ridiculously, on the information that it shares. But they also have a terminal. And I've tried using the terminal and it's pretty good, man. Like, it's like talking about stuff from dev updates to white papers, putting it into like just a few words that I can't get that kind of output from GPT or Anthropic. Like, it's nuts. It's reading the blockchain. It's reading people's.
He was cooking too.
I'm just getting into it.
I know. I want to text him.
Oh yeah, my internet, dude.
Yeah. You're back though. You lost you at. You can't get the
point is, I think it's worth looking at. The tech, I think, is actually pretty next level for AI XBT, and that's why no one's been able to duplicate that type of output thus far. But I think it's gonna get better. Like, it's, yeah.
And I'm gonna say yes. Look, it's super interesting. I follow it very closely. I don't think it's that good yet. If you gave it to Andy Alley and said, build me a chatbot that is really smart and has a character, my guess still is he would do a better job. And that's the difference between our crypto world, thinking we're the cool kids, and the actual cool kids. And Andy is not at the forefront either. I but follow a bunch of other people like Pliny the Prompter and people like this who are breaking by using clever prompting, breaking out all of these models into kind of living, breathing creatures. I'm like, fuck. And then you've got Ilya leaving OpenAI from what he saw. So you've got this whole chain of shit going on, and we're at this end still. That's my argument with this is, again, I think we all share the same idea.
Yeah.
I just think there's more noise than signals still.
Fair. If I could leave you with one thing, like one frame to like look at over the next month, 2 months, is if you shift the angle to thinking about it as tokenizing and incentivizing open source development, and AI being like the clear most interesting place for experimentation happening in the world broadly right now. I think that's the most real red pill behind this shit. Yeah.
I think it's the greatest use of blockchain on earth. I think your probability of choosing the right token is close to zero unless you're operating on a very short-term time horizon. Right? And I agree with that. It's very hard for anybody who's not in the trenches all day, who's not up until 3 o'clock in the morning looking at every single price action.
We lost it, but keep going.
I think it's really hard for anybody who doesn't do what you guys do, which is why I like watching what you do, because you're doing very different stuff from me. It's like why I like Anson. It's like, it's not my world, but I respect it because it's a different time horizon. It gives me informational value for my bigger picture, like my bigger picture of stuff will give you informational value. That's the way we should deal with it. I just think for most ordinary people who are not traders, on very short-term time horizons, who are looking at the relative charts of everything, they're going to get fucking nuked by this. And that's okay. I mean, markets nuke people, but, I'm very careful about that stuff and bringing people down that road as well, because I know what the crowd turns against you when it changes.
Bro, I really feel like you're going to leave this call and just start firing into AI coins. Like, I can feel it. I know that notepad is like, buy this, buy this.
Literally, I've come away realizing that there is no good argument why any of these will succeed, but the thesis is right, which I'm not that guy. I am going to probably think about goats overnight because I understand it is honestly, out of all of this, it is the left curve, right curve take. Because nobody knows. The mid curve take is, I don't agree with the goatsy philosophy, blah, blah. Nobody fucking knows what it is. It doesn't matter. It's the first one. It was humans being infected by a meme virus, by a random Kiwi developing this infinite backrooms, weird projects where AI starts talking to. This stuff is sci-fi. So I think you and I had the same impression. In the end, that and maybe fart as a derivative is an easier bet.
I honestly very much like leaving this convo though, that the thesis is correct. Which coin to buy tomorrow is unclear, but the thesis that this is going to be massive, and we both agree on it. I like that.
Yeah, and when I said that everybody's mid-curving it, it's I think everyone's over-justifying where we are today. And if I break that all down, I always like to find common ground. We found common ground very quick, which is like, you know what? GOAT is an OG. Okay, great. The other thesis of the common ground is, yeah, the thesis is absolutely correct. And so that is why conversations are great to have, because you actually dig into really what matters.
Hey, this is fun. We're going to have to do a part 2. I got to ask you 2 final questions.
We're going to do one on NFTs one day. I'm going to bring you back into the fucking thing. You're going to be buying dick butts. You're going to be buying it. Yes, you are.
I might never buy a dick butt in my life, bro. I'll tell you this.
You will.
I'll tell you this.
You will be buying crypto dick butts. I promise you that.
If I wake up tomorrow and I see a 7-figure clip into GOAT, I'll buy a dick butt. That's my proposal to you. I'll buy a dick butt on the spot.
You will buy dick butts out of FOMO because there's 5,700 of these things of crypto lore. They've got similar lore to punks, and you're going to leave this call and go, fuck it, I've got to buy a dick butt.
Yeah, and
you'll go down the rabbit hole.
There's only 1 billion GOAT tokens as well. All right, two final questions. First of all, thank you for this. I want to ask you more broadly. I called it Trad AI. I know you liked that. Can you give me, to the best of your ability, like paint the picture of what the world is going to look like with AI, forget crypto, in 2030, 3 to 5 years from now? How is the world going to change?
Okay. I've written a lot about this. Anybody watching this, I can't express how important it is. Go to Real Vision. It's free to join, realvision.com/join. There's a whole thing about the next 5 years. Also, I write a service called The Exponentialist, which is all about technology and crypto. It's all free. So just go there. There's a free trial going on of all of that stuff. That's not my point. Okay. GDP growth, how economies grow, is driven by population growth, productivity growth, and debt growth. We broke debt growth in 2008. We've just been servicing debt since, which is what I call the everything code cycle. Population growth, we've got an aging population. They're shrinking everywhere in the world. Productivity, old people aren't productive. We're about to introduce infinite humans, both at a physical labor level, which is the robots, and infinite knowledge. Almost all value that accrues to humanity in every working thing that they do is about knowledge or labor. Every knowledge worker, a lawyer, an accountant, a doctor, a surgeon, a dentist, well, those two get paid a lot because they're the mix between manual and knowledge, right? Skilled knowledge workers who are manual. All of that is gone. Now, that's not going to be gone in 5 years, but it's going. But the flip side of that is if GDP growth is the population growth, we're going to be growing population at infinite size very soon. Very soon. As these AI agents come in, we're going to be creating economic activity that breaks economic models. And guess what? It's not going to accrue to us. And then we're going to be building businesses that AI can interrupt, can copy and launch instantly. So first, I copy your SaaS business model product, your DEX site. I build mine, and I build it in Hindi because I think I can get the Indian market. The AI agent goes, fuck all of you, this is what to do, and it will know better. Right, end. All of our businesses. I'm already building an AI video. I've got a voice version of me coming out next week on the Real Vision platform, trained on all of my data. So you'll be speaking to me in this conversation, and you'll be able to talk to it. By the end of maybe March, it'll be a full video version of me, trained on all of my stuff. And I've got more long-form finance content than probably anybody else in the world. So then our job is, you and I right now do one-to-many broadcasts, right? So this conversation is, well, two-to-many.
Yeah.
We're going to go to one-to-one. Netflix is going to be one-to-one films. You will see different films according to who you are, because you can instantly render anything. So everything you understand about the world, and then you add in AR and VR, plus the rise of robots, everything you understand about the world is about to change. Everything is going exponential together, which is Metcalfe's law is this exponential we used to in crypto. We kind of got our heads around that. Metcalfe's law squared is where we're going, which is Reed's law, which is something that none of us can comprehend, but we can feel it happening in AI. We can see it in the world around. It's going to break society. It's also going to give us the biggest fucking opportunity we've ever had in our entire lifetimes. This next 5 years is don't fuck this up. And, I will argue all day, I will argue all day I don't want everybody to be trading and miss the trend. The fucking trend is so big. As the robots and the AI come, crypto is going to be part of this. This trend is the big one for all of us. This crypto happens to be the largest investable macro trade of all time. It's been the greatest performing asset in all recorded history, and it remains so. So the point being is that focus on this. You have one job. Don't lose your tokens. Think of the guy who bought Bitcoin at $3. His job was not to lose his tokens. If you lose your tokens because you're overusing perps, or you're fucking around in the 78th AI token and you've gone 50% of all of your bags into it, you will fuck this up. And if you're not careful, you'll enter 2030 without enough money to give you the comfort that you need. So I can't stress how important this is. I live my life by this, and I just tell everybody else to do this. This is our time. After this, I don't know what it is, but I know that humans enjoy being humans, and we also enjoy nature. So somewhere between nature and being humans and communities, we'll figure it out. So I'm not worried about us. I'm figuring out what money even is when AI is better investors than us, builds better businesses than us, or we create total abundance in everything, then nothing's of any value. So that's why look, I'm pitching something here now, but go to realvision.com/join. Just join that. You'll see the product that I've got called the Exponentialist, which talks about this in massive detail. It's free for the rest of the month. Just arbitrage it. Don't care if you don't pay any money for anything. Arbitrage it for free because it's there to help everybody with this kind of shit because it is big.
Use ref code TG. No, I'm just playing. What's the dollar number that I need to make before 2030?
You don't. You need a house in a place that you want to live, in the style of life that you want to live, and you want enough liquid assets, because we already don't want fiat, that you know that you can release capital over time to pay your bills while you figure out what your role is in this new world. My guess is you're young enough to figure out, and I think you're on the right track. I think being a creator and a community is actually incredibly valuable to humans. We still want to be humans, right? We want to have these conversations with real humans. So I think that's incredibly valuable. But I think it's going to be about get a fucking roof over your head, get the basic things. Where do you want to live? Do you want to live in sunshine? Do you want to live in cold weather? Do you want to live in a mountain? Do you want to live whatever? Figure it out. And it doesn't have to be in the United States. It doesn't have to be I need to live in St. Bart's. There's plenty of places. You can do it cheap in El Salvador or Nicaragua, or you can do it cheap in Thailand, or you can do it expensive and be in St. Bart's. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. But protect yourself so you can enjoy the change and not fear it. Because if you haven't protected yourself and banked your lifestyle chips, you're then at risk of everything.
Yeah. All right, this is my final question for you, Raoul. This was, by the way, I like you. This was sick. This is so fun. We got to do it again. You kind of already answered it, but just for the clip, there's a lot of people that are listening that they're young, they're Zoomers. They have absolutely not made it. They have no clue what is going on with AI, and they're just starting to wrap their head around with crypto, and they're like, what the fuck do I do? Like, what is your Raoul Pal legend motivation or advice for that kid that's watching it that doesn't know what the fuck to do in this new world?
And I do this with a lot of friends. I had a friend's kid over. He's 19, 20 at university. He's like, what do I do? And I'm like, firstly, just buy a bit of Bitcoin, a bit of ETH, a bit of Solana, and do 80% that. It's the same advice, right? And I don't want to hear you're bleating on that I can't make the 100x, because I want to prove to yourself, young 20-year-old, that you can make the 20x and go and fuck around with whatever you want with the other 20%. Learn the game. The game of investing is not easy. I've been doing it for 35 years. It is not easy. So you need to learn the game. And so don't nuke your book, because this space goes up over time. All you have to do is do nothing and you'll make money. But it's not enough money. I get that. It's not going to pay your mortgage. I get it. But I don't want you learning by failing with everything. I want you to fail with a part until you learn the game. And if you get it right and you knock it out of the park and you make a few 100x's, great. But I don't think you can do it all in one go, because I think most people I've seen do that have failed. And the only people you see on X are the people who didn't fail. And there's very few, there's a handful, there's maybe 20, 30, there's not everybody's GCR, right? There's 50,000 GCRs, maybe 100,000, maybe 500,000 GCRs that never made a penny. They all lost all of their stake at the casino. Don't lose your stake at the casino. This casino is rigged in your favor. It goes up. That's bananas. The greatest rigged casino game of all time, and people are fucking it up.
I heard you say bananas. Hey, you're like my lit uncle I never had. All right, actual final question, I'll let you go, because chat is spamming this specific question. How do I make $10 million in 2025?
Well, you can start with 100 million and trade AI tokens.
Raoul Pal, hey, W. Ung, you're a fucking legend, bro. Honestly, thank you for this. This was fucking fun. I had a blast. I hope you had fun.
I loved it. I loved it.
It was awesome. We gotta do it again. I'm gonna peer pressure you to come back on for part 2. But thank you for your time, bro. Go buy some fucking goat. Post that 7-figure clip. I'll buy a dick, but I swear. You're the man, bro.